Welcome back. In the last video, I introduced you to the broad concept of NLP chatbots. In this video, we're going to be narrowing our focus onto a specific platform on which we'll be building our bots, Dialogflow. To do this, I'll be referencing a full pizza bot that I've created, as well as a couple examples from other mini bots. So Dialogflow is an amazing and free resource for people of all levels of expertise to create NLP chatbots. One of the best parts about it is that it doesn't require any programming knowledge, so just about anyone can try it out and build their own bot. In this video, I'll be walking you through the basics of Dialogflow, which comprise of these components. And note that the words agent, chatbot, and virtual assistant basically mean the same thing, so I'll be using these words interchangeably. So the first step to creating a chatbot on Dialogflow is creating an agent. An agent is a virtual assistant that handles conversations with users. Your job is to design and build an agent to handle different types of conversations. For example, on Dialogflow, there are a series of pre-built agents that each have a different purpose. For example, this one looks like it'll take a coffee order, whereas this one will set an alarm for a user. To create your own agent, you simply head to the top of the page and click on Create Agent. Now I'm going to start a conversation with a pizza ordering chatbot that I made. In the series of videos right after I teach you the basics of Dialogflow, I will walk through how to build a pizza ordering chatbot similar to this one. So let's start a conversation with this pizza ordering bot and see how it really works. So let's start off with some small talk. So as you can see, when I say I'm hungry, the bot recognizes my intent, which is that I want food, and is able to come up with this response. It is able to do this because of what is known as intents in Dialogflow. An intent categorizes a user's intent, or what they are trying to say or ask. Each agent has several intents. For example, this forecast intent recognizes questions that users have about the weather. Well, you might be thinking, can't a normal non-NLP bot understand intent as well? A person could just program in a question, and the bot would have to detect whether the user's question matches the program question, and if it does, then it'll match the intent. Well, yes, but this is highly inefficient and limited. You see, in this example, these two questions are basically asking the same thing, but are worded differently. A non-NLP chatbot would not detect the second one as matching the forecast intent, because the words don't match the program question. To fix this problem, one option would be to code in numerous different types of questions to try to cover all user potential questions, so that the bot would be able to detect differences like these. From a programmer's standpoint, he or she would have to create an if-then-else or rule-based bot and manually handle all possible scenarios through several OR statements. But imagine just how much time, effort, and extra work that would be. Well, this is where NLP comes in. With a bot powered by natural language processing, a person would not have to code in hundreds of thousands of different variations. Instead, they can type in a few sample questions called training phrases, and when a user's expression resembles one of these phrases, Dialogflow matches the intent. You don't have to define every possible scenario, because Dialogflow's built-in machine learning will expand on your list with similar phrases. Let's take a look at this concept on Dialogflow. So on Dialogflow, if we click on intents, we see a bunch of intents created for this pizza bot. So this begin order is the intent that is called when someone mentions that they're hungry, that they want food, that they want pizza, etc. And if you notice, none of these training phrases are exactly what we typed in here, I'm hungry, which explains the power of NLP. Now, if we scroll up to the top of the page, we see something called contexts. Dialogflow contexts are very similar to natural language contexts. For example, if someone says, I want it, we need context to understand what the it means. Now, let's talk about an example where the person wants to know the balance in his checking account at his bank. So in this example, the user wants info on their checking account. When they say this statement, Dialogflow matches it to the checking info intent, and now the checking context is active for the next few messages. And the duration for which it's active is known as the lifespan, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Next, Dialogflow responds with a follow-up question. To this, the user states, my balance. Now, in a situation without context, the bot may have been confused as to why the user is saying the words, my balance, out of the blue. But now that it knows the context, it's able to match it to the correct intent and respond accurately. In part 3, we'll be building our own bot to show the power of context. Not only this, but we'll also be building the same bot without context to see the difference in output. Now, a little while ago, I mentioned the word lifespan. So the lifespan is basically a number next to each context that indicates the number of conversational turns that the context remains active. If you don't quite understand lifespan right now, that's okay, because in part 4, I'll be explaining it in more depth, and we'll be building our own bot from scratch that'll show why lifespan is so important and what happens if it's too little. So far, we've covered agents, intents, training phrases, responses, context, and lifespan. Connecting this back to the pizza ordering bot from the beginning, these components allowed the bot to match the user's words to their desired meaning and understand the context in which the words were said. But what actually shows the machine to figure out that Brooklyn style is a type of crust and that onions and tomatoes forms of toppings? There has to be a way for the machine to categorize these words to figure out that the user is giving examples of the pizza component it asked for, right? Well, this is where entities come into play. An entity is basically a category that certain words fit into. In this case, the bot extracts 3 key words: apples, bananas, and oranges, and is able to classify these as a fruit entity. Let's look back at the pizza bot to understand these concepts a little more. So we left off at the bot asking us what type of crust we'd like. So as you can see, the bot gives us several options for crust type. In this case, crust is the entity. We can then type in our crust choice. It now asks us for the size of the pizza, and the size is the entity. Cheese is the entity in this case. After typing this in, it prompts for toppings, and the toppings becomes the entity. Entities make this bot smarter because they allow the bot to recognize not only the various samples I've included here, but also so much more. If you recall, I mentioned garlic, and though that is not one of the options here, it's able to recognize that as a valid topping. Additionally, fuzzy matching and automated expansion allows us to misspell words, use incorrect grammar, etc., and the bot will still recognize it. So let me show you what I mean. Last time, it asked us for the crust, and I typed in the whole phrase. But we don't actually need to do that. If we type in half of it, it still recognizes it and prompts us for the next thing. Similarly, if we misspell the size here, it'll still detect it. If we both cut the phrase in half and misspell the cheese, it still recognizes it. So as you can see, NLP bots have immense potential to make our lives easier. And Dialogflow allows us to harness this potential by enabling us to create powerful chatbots. In this video, we covered the most crucial aspects of Dialogflow. In the last 2 videos of the series, we'll be building 2 mini bots. But these aren't just any random bots. These bots serve as an interactive way for you to deepen your understanding on 2 essential concepts in Dialogflow that are often harder to wrap your head around than other aspects. These concepts being context and lifespan. If you've enjoyed learning about Dialogflow, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what type of bot you'd like to build. I'll also be looking through the comments and making tutorials and guides on some of the bots that you guys want to build, so make sure to let me know what I can help with. And if you're new here, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you won't miss any videos that'll help you on your journey towards mastering artificial intelligence, as well as the chance to win cool prizes in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.